Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then at 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Today we're talking about part two of our show, of our two-part show on love. I'm sorry, three-part show on love. How can love be used as a technology for justice? How can love be used as a technology to move one towards the direction, not just one, but people towards the direction of liberation? How can love be used as an energizing tool to make one more productive? So, a really interesting show today. So, thanks for being here. If you are new, you can go to Productive Through Joy to learn about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. You can also simply become a subscriber, get all these videos for free. I did say free, one, two, three, four, free, um, and they'll come right to you. I should probably say a few words about myself for those of you who are new. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. That book's film rights were also optioned by the actor Will Smith. I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel America, which just came out in October. That book interrogates the intersection of race and violence in the American family. Um, it tells the story of identical twin sons, really powerful narrative. I'm also the author of the spanking brand new book, which came out in April, Animating Black and Brown Liberation, a Theory of American Literature, which is a really powerful narrative. Let me clear my throat, which examines the connection and interrelationship between activism and literature. Can fictional uh, representations of activists and activism inform our understanding of best practices in the real activist world? I'm saying yes, we can. Yes, it can. Yes, it does. So that book's really innovative. I'm on book tour for those last two books. I would be everywhere. I'll be in Seattle. I would be in New Mexico. I would be in Vermont at the Brattleboro Book Festival. I'll be in Kentucky at the Kentucky Literary Festival. I'll be everywhere. So look for me coming to you soon. I'll be in Chicago. I'll be all over the country. So starting in the fall, starting in I think August. Yes. So in just a few weeks, I'll be everywhere. So look for me coming to you soon. Yeah. So look forward to seeing you. If you see me online or on mainstream media, holla at me. We can have some cognac or some chamomile. I do both of those things. Let's chop it up. Um, I'm also the board president of the World Stage, a literary and jazz venue here in California. Um, my educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergraduate, my master's from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature from the University of California, Riverside. Guys, I'm an expert at being productive. I don't say that to brag or boast. I say it because people are almost always surprised to hear my productivity when they hear um, my crazy story. I'm the product of a young girl who was violated at age 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to a single divorcee. So at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD. That is cool. Modi famously said, "How you like me now?" Right? And if I can be this productive through joy, we're arguing that many people can be similarly productive, which is what inspires the show, inspires me personally, and moves us to be up so early in the morning. So thanks for being here. Let's dive right into our show. So we're talking about, and we began this series yesterday. We're talking about love, and so point one of today's show, which is part two of a three-part series, is you want love to be your calling card. What does that mean? That means you want love to be the thing that people know you by, the expression that people identify you by. Uh, goes right into point two. Well, how does that look practically? Well, people should be able to see your love by what you do. You know, it's easier to say I love you, bro, love you, bro, love you. But it is your action that needs to represent your love, right? And what happens when you do that, when your action speaks of your love, it gives people a certainty about your love because the word love can be tossed around pretty lightly and loosely. And I think it's also important to say I love you. That's also important to say that. But it needs to be grounded in action. When people feel like your action is is rooted in love, they feel like they are valuable. You know, you are investing love in them. And when I say love, I mean love. You know, again, love has various expressions and articulations. But in terms of folks you work with, employees, you can love employees without necessarily having to say, "Employee Joe, I love you," which may be inappropriate at work. But you can show that by treating people with equity, fairness, and with respect. It doesn't need to be inappropriate or weird. This needs to be, it can be simply you respecting and honoring people as a way of showing and loving their humanity, which goes right into point three. Love should operate as a verb, which is tied to the action, because we know love, verb is an action word. And your love should always be, oops, should always be about action. Yeah, should always be about action. And so, what does that mean? So, practically, that means that when you are living your life as a lifestyle, love as is a verb, love as a verb is a lifestyle, meaning in all things be about the love. What that does is that allows you to not act. It isn't a game. It isn't like a performance. It's actually how you live your life. And when you do that, in order to do that, you have to make it a part of your life throughout your day. You know, if you know the show, we talk a lot about meditation and various types of metaphysical modalities to commune with the self, because inside of the self is God, is spirit, and when you do that, it has a way of impacting how you are able to love. Because trust me, when I'm not on top of my spiritual game, I am not Mr. Love Bug, that's for sure. So it does take work to live this lifestyle, but when you do, let me tell you, it can be extraordinary. So boom goes the dynamite. That's all for today's show. We air each weekday morning, hella early, early AF at 4:45 a.m., then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. We'll see you again when you see me on book tour. I'll be here in LA in Leimert Park at the Leimert Park Book Festival, which happens in August. So look for all that on social media, guys. Thank you for being here. We love and respect you. We will see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.